This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Books, PD products, science, fashion, and glam talk. From Bollywood to Hollywood, it's Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi, right here on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. And here's your host, international speaker, educator, award-winning entrepreneur, and best-selling author, Dr. Afshan Hashmi.
Hello everyone, this is your loving host, Dr. Afshan Hashmi, live from IHOP. And here, folks, today I came to this restaurant, so time was not enough to go back to my studio. So I just hop in on the show, and this is the first inaugural show. This show has retired, and now, I'm beginning it again. And this show is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. So if you give me sponsorship, it will be very good. And also, folks, these are my two books. The first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. When this book came, there was a lot of research on Jugaad going on. And I have conceptualized Jugaad as thinking outside the box. And I want, this was an Amazon bestseller as well as hot number, new release on Amazon. The second book is The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. And when this book came, there was no COVID, and I, in a very creative way, I have talked about bioterrorism. And this book shows the spread of a disease. So, and also, I got it evaluated by Tailflix, and you can go to my website www.afshanhashmi.com, and you can see the Tailflix evaluation. And they did evaluation for a lot of things. And they said, this book is equal to Contagion, and this book was also Amazon bestseller. Having said that, folks, now I will be asking my sound engineer Rebel to please play the first sponsorship film, and then the first book ad.
Hello everyone around the world. This is Dr. Afshan Hashmi, and with K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. And dear friends, I am live from Maryland in a country club, and I just wanted to say that please give me sponsorship if you want these shows to go on, because it takes a lot of effort and money to produce these kinds of shows. Having said that, friends, please give me sponsorship, and cheers and bye-bye.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Chapter 2, How Jugaad Leads to Multi-Sector Success Stories in India, including definitions of the Jugaad Management Principle business model. Of the book, The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. Inspiration. True Jugaad is an inspiration on how to create products using technology that meet the price-value equation. According to a Harvard Business Review article featuring expert Prahlad and Mashelkar, most innovation programs are built on the assumptions of affluence and abundance. We see the rich and the young in both the developed and the developing countries demanding environmental friendly products and services. They also believe that affordability and sustainability are crucial to driving successful business today. New technologies and radical business models are important not only to penetrate mass markets in India but in the entire world. By reconfiguring all areas of the business structure, they will pull.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. OMG, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now! The world is depending on you.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
So, folks, today, I will dive into when is Hajj 2024. Hajj is the sacred pilgrimage performed by Muslims at the holy mosque of Masjid al-Haram in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. It is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, which means that it is obliged of every Muslim, and this is from Islamic relief. It is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, which means that it is obliged of every Muslim at least once in their lifetime, so long as they have the means. Hajj takes place during the same period each year during the month of Dhul Hijjah, the 12th month in the Islamic calendar. Hajj begins on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah and lasts until the 13th of Dhul Hijjah. This year, Hajj is taking place between 4th June to the 19th June 2024 in the Gregorian calendar. The Islamic calendar operates on the lunar cycle, which is why it appears to shift forward approximately 11 to 12 days each year as it corresponds to the Gregorian calendar. As Muslims, undertaking Hajj in Islam is a spiritual duty as long as we are financially, physically, and emotionally able to do so. In the Holy Quran, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala commands Muslims to take this sacred journey. You will enter the sacred masjid, God willing, perfectly secure, and you will cut your hair or shorten it as you fulfill the pilgrimage rituals there. You will not have any fear since He knew what you did not know. He has coupled this with an immediate victory. Quran 48.27. While it is only required of Muslims to perform the Hajj at least once in their lifetime, it can be performed multiple times. How long does Hajj last? So now, before diving into another topic, I would ask Rebel to please go and do another break and also play some sponsorship videos.
Hello viewers around the globe, this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi live for her radio show at K4HD and Talk 4 TV show, and I just wanted to request you that please give me sponsorship if you want this show to continue. Having said that, friends, I will see you in another episode of K4HD Radio plus Talk 4 TV show, and if you give me sponsorship, I will give you very reasonable price, and also you will get lot of promotion as this show is syndicated worldwide to more than 300 million listeners. Cheers and bye bye.
So, like, as far as I have understood Hajj, it is not like if you don't have money, or like people think that you have to do Hajj always in your lifetime. It is not as so. It is just five pillars of Islam, and if you don't have money, it's not obligatory to take loans and go for Hajj. You should not take loans, and because that's what my parents told me, that you cannot take Hajj with loans. You have to have it cash, that much money, and also all your responsibilities. For example, if you have a daughter, who has to get married, or you have other responsibilities like your son or daughter is going to school, or anything, and you can always skip Hajj. And also some people, they don't go to Hajj and they do Hajj Badal, like somebody can do Hajj for you. Like there are many old people who cannot do Hajj, so someone they can designate for Hajj. And having said that, folks, now let's start about. I have not done Hajj, but soon, inshallah, I will be doing Hajj, and go to that holy Makkah and Medina. And I love Rasulullah, and I am direct descendant of Prophet Abu Bakr Raziallah Anha, and I love Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and I love Abu Bakr Raziallah Anha, and I love Umar Raziallah Anha. Having said that, folks, now I would go on a break and will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talkformedia.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Chapter 2: How Jugaad leads to multi-sector success stories in India, including definitions of the Jugaad management principle business model. Of the book The Modern Mughal Mentality: New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. Inspiration: True Jugaad is an inspiration on how to create products using technology that meet the price-value equation. According to a Harvard Business Review article featuring expert Prahlad and Mashelkar, most innovation programs are built on the assumptions of affluence and abundance. We see the rich and the young in both the developed and the developing countries demanding environmental friendly products and services. They also believe that affordability and sustainability are crucial to driving successful business today. New technologies and radical business models are important not only to penetrate mass markets in India but in the entire world. By reconfiguring all areas of the business structure, they will pull.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. OMG, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now! The world is depending on you.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
Who is excluded from Hajj? It is required of every Muslim to perform Hajj. Excuse me. It is required of every Muslim to perform Hajj at least once in their lifetime. However, The Hajj is not intended as a burden upon Muslims, and Muslims are only required to perform Hajj so long as it is within their capacity. So, this is what I was telling about Hajj. Those who are exempt from Hajj are the following. Firstly, only Muslim adults, whether male or female, are required to perform Hajj. This means that while children may go to Hajj, it is not required of them. Secondly, the very weak, sick, elderly, or otherwise physically incapable Muslims are exempt from having to perform the pilgrimage. Thirdly, the Muslim must be financially able to perform Hajj. However, if one is in debt, they may still perform Hajj as long as the creditor permits it. The debtor has time to pay off the debt. The creditor permits it. The debtor has time to pay off the debt. Hajj does not affect their ability to pay off the debt. Brief history of the Hajj, and we will talk about it after a short break.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi live from a barn country club in Virginia, and I just wanted to say that my K4HD radio and Talk 4 TV show called Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi is syndicated worldwide and has more than 300 million listeners. And if you want these shows to continue, please give a sponsorship, and I request to please give a sponsorship because these shows require a lot of energy and money to produce. So I would request everyone to give me sponsorship, and your product will be promoted in a very reasonable price, and you can contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. Cheers and bye bye.
So now, folks, I will be reading about brief history of the Hajj. In 1628 CE, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and the Muslims embarked on the first Islamic pilgrimage Hajj, re-establishing the traditions started by the Prophet Ibrahim alayhis salam, who first began the tradition of Hajj millennia before. The story of Hajj begins with the story of Ibrahim alayhis salam and the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to travel to the barren desert of Makkah and leave his wife Hajar and infant son Ismail alayhis salam. They followed the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hajar and Ismail alayhis salam quickly ran out of resources, and in a desperate effort to find water, Hajar ran between the two neighboring hills of Safa and Marwa in search of someone who could help or nearby water. She did this 7 times only to return to a crying Ismail alayhis salam empty-handed. As the infant baby cried, Ismail alayhis salam struck the ground with his leg, and a stream of water burst forth at the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This stream of water is relieved the pair of their thirst and became a resource with which they traded for provisions of all kinds with traveling merchants. And this stream of water relieved the pair of their thirst and became a resource with which they traded for provisions of all kinds with traveling merchants. This stream of water is known today as the well of Zamzam. Ibrahim alayhis salam was commanded to return to his family years later, only to find the miracle of his family alive and indeed thriving. The pitch that had started with Hajar and Ismail alayhis salam was now transforming into a thriving settlement that would become known as Makkah. Ibrahim alayhis salam was then instructed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to mark the space with a stone structure known as the Kaaba. Ibrahim alayhis salam built it with his son Ismail alayhis salam in the exact same spot it was first built by the first man and prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Adam alayhis salam. The space was created for worshippers of the one God to gather, and the stone structure known as the Kaaba simply marks the spot where Muslims unite. It is not something that is worshipped, as idolatry is prohibited in Islam. Over time, the Kaaba would be taken over by pagan Arabs who filled it with idols. Thousands of years later, when the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was given revelations and the final message of Tawheed monotheism, he was instructed to reinstate Ibrahim a.s. sacred tradition, the sacred pilgrim we know as Hajj today. You can read this story in detail as well as the significance of Qurbani and more in a comprehensive Hajj guide which many have. Now I will go on a break and will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talkformedia.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. Oh my God, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for the outbreak of a monstrous infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now. The world is depending on you.
The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, Chapter 1, 1964 to 2018, and this is the sample track, and it is read by Dr. Afshan Nahid Hashmi. In a sprawling bungalow in Potomac, Maryland, USA, lived Dr. Honey Singh, a board-certified internal medicine and family practice physician, along with his beautiful wife, Baby Singh. Baby Singh was a fashionista and was funding women's causes through her Honey Babe Foundation. She had a ladies' book club by the name of Baby's Glam and Glitzy Club, which had many glam and glitzy ladies who were professionals living in Washington, D.C., Potomac, Maryland, Virginia, and even Beverly Hills, California, as well as elites from all of America meeting at her place on the last Wednesday of every month discussing various aspects of charities they wanted her and Dr. Honey to fund. In this club, there was a wide spectrum of career women. There were doctors, lawyers, actresses, business owners, and models, to name a few. In these book club meetings, members would come prepared after reading a book of a famous woman author, and that author was even invited from any part of the world to give her presentation, followed by a Q&A in this prestigious and elite gathering.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
So now I will be reading about Saudi Arabia Hajj 2024, dominated by rising temperatures. And it says Saudi Arabia Hajj 2024 by rising temperatures by Jennifer Hollels and Anki Rasper. Saudi officials warn of sweltering heat for this year's Islamic pilgrimage. Observers highlight that mitigating measures are not enough as regional long-term policy changes are needed. This year's Islamic Hajj pilgrim, which starts on June 14, will not only be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for some 2 million Muslims from around 180 countries who travel to Saudi Arabia, it will be a physical challenge as temperatures will be above average. The expected climate for Hajj this year will be a witness an increase in average temperatures of 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal in Mecca and Medina, National Meteorology Chief Ayman Ghulam said last week. So this was like the temperature, and now let's see. Now it says Al Arabia News. Here it is. Saudi Arabia said on Saturday that security forces had cleared hundreds of thousands of unregistered pilgrims from Mecca ahead of the Hajj, which begins next week. Crowd management is a major concern during the annual pilgrimage, one of the five pillars of Islam, which drew more than 1.8 million Muslims last year, according to official figures. Those turned away in recent days from the holy city home to the Grand Mosque include 153,998 foreigners who travel from abroad on tourist visas rather than the required Hajj visas, the official Saudi press agency SPA said. In addition, Saudi authorities have rounded up 171,587 others who are based in Saudi Arabia but are not residents of Makkah and did not have Hajj permits, SPA said. The Hajj, which begins on June 14, must be undertaken at least once by all Muslims with the means. It involves a series of rituals completed over at least 4 days in Makkah and its surroundings in the west of Saudi Arabia. Many seek to complete the rites through unofficial channels, as obtaining the formal permits and travel packages can be extremely costly with limited quotas for pilgrims from each country. Saudi Arabia is home to the holiest shrines in Islam at Mecca and Medina. More than 1.3 million registered pilgrims had arrived in Saudi Arabia for the Hajj as of Saturday, Mecca regional authorities said on X. So now I will go on a break and will be back soon.
Hello everyone around the globe. This is Dr. Afshan Hashmi and with K4 HD Radio and Talk 4 TV. And dear friends, I am live from Maryland in a country club, and I just wanted to say that please give me sponsorship if you want these shows to go on, because it takes a lot of effort and money to produce these kinds of shows. Having said that, friends, please give me sponsorship, and cheers and bye bye.
So now there is Saudi Gazette, this interesting news, and it says the Ministry of Health has announced its full readiness with human cadres and health facilities to receive and serve the guest of God during the Hajj season of 2024. So here it is. The integrated preparations and new technologies include hospitals, health centers, and mobile clinics in Makkah, Medina, and various holy sites to ensure the provision of the best health care to pilgrims. The Ministry of Health indicated that more than 32,000 medical and administrative staff has been distributed across various health facilities and centers, including over 5,000 doctors from various specialties. These professionals are ready to provide necessary health care and respond quickly to any emergency around the clock in 183 health facilities, including 32 hospitals, 151 health centers, and 6 mobile clinics equipped with latest medical technology. And here I would like to give tribute to one of my cousin aunt who was a medical doctor, and she was serving in Hajj, and she contracted a viral disease and she died there. So if you are listening in heaven, I don't want to disclose her name, and so I want to wish you all the best. And if you are hearing this, this is a tribute, to them and to everyone, who's going to Hajj. And I want to congratulate everyone who's going on this holy journey. And I wish Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his two besties, also invite me soon to the Holy Kingdom. Having said that, folks, now I want to go on a break and will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. Oh my God, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for the outbreak of a monstrous infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now. The world is depending on you.
The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, Chapter 1, 1964 to 2018, and this is the sample track, and it is read by Dr. Afshan Nahid Hashmi. In a sprawling bungalow in Potomac, Maryland, USA, lived Dr. Honey Singh, a board-certified internal medicine and family practice physician, along with his beautiful wife, Baby Singh. Baby Singh was a fashionista and was funding women's causes through her Honey Bay Foundation. She had a ladies' book club by the name of Baby's Glam and Glitzy Club, which had many glam and glitzy ladies who were professionals living in Washington, D.C., Potomac, Maryland, Virginia, and even Beverly Hills, California, as well as elites from all of America meeting at her place on the last Wednesday of every month, discussing various aspects of charities they wanted her and Dr. Honey to fund. In this club, there was a wide spectrum of career women. There were doctors, lawyers, actresses, business owners, and models, to name a few. In these book club meetings, members would come prepared after reading a book of a famous woman author, and that author was even invited from any part of the world to give her presentation, followed by a Q&A in this prestigious and elite gathering.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
Now there is another news from Saudi Gazette, and it said Saudi Arabia launches Nusuk pilgrim card for the Hajj of 2024. Riyadh, the Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah has launched the Nusuk pilgrim card, which will be in use for the forthcoming annual pilgrimage of Hajj 2024. Minister of Hajj and Umrah Dr. Taufiq Al-Rabia released the Nusuk card by presenting its copy to Indonesian Minister of Religious Affairs Yaqut Jalil Qomas in Jakarta on Tuesday, April 30, during which official visit to Indonesia. Dr. Al-Rabia and his Indonesian counterpart Qomas discussed the final preparation and ways to streamline services for the pilgrims of Indonesia, the most populous Muslim country, which is sending the largest ever contingent of 241,000 pilgrims for this year's Hajj. During the visit, the minister met with senior Indonesian officials, heads of Hajj service, providing companies and investors to review the available opportunities that raise the quality and standard of facilities and services for the guests of God. And I want to add here that Indonesian people, they cannot get married without doing Hajj. So this is a very, very interesting fact which I had found during one of my research on Hajj. The launching of the card is the latest in a series of reforms introduced by the government of Saudi Arabia as part of its continuous endeavors to provide everything that will add to the ease and comfort of the pilgrims and enable them to benefit from the highly advanced technologies to facilitate their lifetime journey of faith. The Nusuk program card aims to raise the efficiency of operational procedures for the upcoming Hajj season, to make the pilgrimage much easier and simplified, as well as to bring down instances of performing Hajj in an illegal way. It is designed to be easy to read automatically. The card facilitates Hajj workers to identify and verify the identity of each pilgrim, and also help prevent unauthorized individuals from entering the holy sites, and thus ensuring the safety and security of all programs. The ministry revealed that the card is in digital and physical print format. The print copy of the card will be delivered to pilgrims through the respective Hajj missions or Hajj service providing companies and establishments with which the pilgrims have concluded contracts to perform the pilgrimage. The digital copy is available through the pilgrim's account on the Nusuk and Tawakkalna applications. The ministry stated that the pilgrim must scan the QR code on the printed card and then follow the instructions that lead to obtaining the digital version of the card. The ministry indicated that the card provides a wide range of services for the pilgrims. The most important of these services is proving the identity of the pilgrim in front of the relevant authorities and enabling them to verify his data for the purpose of making available the best possible services. It will also provide key information such as the pilgrim's personal data, address, and health records linked to a smartphone application. So, my prayers is for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his two besties that I come on Hajj, and I have been to Makkah and Medina, and I love Medina's shopping. Makkah's shopping is also good, but I like Medina's shopping. So I would do Hajj and do lots of shopping for my friends and for myself and come and I say मदीने की गलियों में खो जाएंगे. So, I love Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his two besties, Abu Bakr Raziallah anha, from whom dynasty we are direct descendants, and uh, uh, Umar Raziallah anha, and and so I love all these three people, and this is my faith, and that's why I wanted this program, to come on this program. I wanted to do the this is the program. It had retired, and then after an year, it has been revived again. So I just love to talk about Hajj, and I'm preparing for Eid ul Adha. I just ordered some food goodies, and my husband is very sick. So please pray for him. He has dementia and Parkinson, and he is bedridden. Please pray for him, and also, whoever is going to Hajj, please pray for my husband and for us, and please do dua for us or when you reach Makkah and Medina. And having said that, friends, now let's do, when you go to Hajj, they do a thing called labbaik labbaik. Let's do that. لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك شريك لك لبيك لبيك النعمة شريك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك. So when you go for Hajj or Umrah, when I went for Umrah, I haven't been for Hajj. My mother said that as soon as you enter Makkah Muazzama, you have to say Labbaik, Labbaik. And I was so lost in my thought. I said Labbaik, Labbaik. And all of a sudden, Khane Kaaba was in front of me. So this is my faith, and I just wanted to tell my viewers around in the Western world, because many viewers, in the Western world don't know really what Hajj is. So I wanted to do that. And now, folks, let's do a US India, relations. Let's do the Saudi national anthem, which I love a lot. So this was the national anthem of Saudi Arabia, and let me play the national anthem of US.
Braden has
Minister tribute to Whitney Houston. So this was a tribute to Whitney Houston. I just loved her and I remember her a lot. Whitney, if you are listening in heaven, I love you. And also, I would like to give a flying kiss to tribute to all those fallen heroes of U.S. Army, and if you are of U.S. Armed Forces and Navy or whatever, and I would like to give them a flying kiss, and all the fallen heroes of Saudi Arabia and India, whom I'm originally from India and my roots are from Saudi Arabia. So all the fallen heroes of those countries, I want to give them a flying kiss, and also long live India, long live Saudi Arabia, and long live America. God bless America, God bless Saudi Arabia, and God bless India. Having said that, folks, now I will end this program and see you next week at Tuesday at 6 p.m. US Eastern Time. And this program is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. So if you give me sponsorship, then I can sustain this program and I will give you a very reasonable price. Having said that, folks, these are my two books. The first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And this book was a tribute to India. And when this book came, there was lot of research going on in Jugaad, and I'm still waiting from Indian Embassy to release this book. And I don't know, they promised me, but I don't know what happened. So and I have seen lot of book clubs, books being released in Indian Embassy, and this was a tribute to to the Indians. So PM Modi, if you are listening, please instruct this embassy to release my book. Having said that, friends, I want a documentary or a web series or a TV serial made of this book. And this book was Amazon bestseller and hot number one new release on Amazon. And the second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, came before COVID, and in a very creative way, I have talked about bioterrorism. So please go and buy these two books, because these two books bring food to the table. And I'm working on my third book. Having said that, folks, cheers and bye bye.
You've been listening to Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in live right here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Would you love exposure to your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And remember, if you miss any part of this show or want to hear it again, find our featured show on iHeartRadio or YouTube, where all past episodes are available on demand 24/7. See you next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on K4HD and Talk4 TV.